Hey everyone, welcome to the Grind Together podcast. We're the Grinders. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Matt. And on this podcast, we want to create opportunities for growth through real conversation.
Let's go. Okay, we are so excited to announce something that I'm so excited about. And I want all of you to join. So I'm bringing it up now so that you don't skip past this. So if you're thinking about it, don't do it because you really want to hear this, okay?
Yeah.
We are so excited to announce our Together community.
It's going to be awesome, guys. We launched it on our masterclass just a couple days ago and got such a good response from it. And we're so excited for it because truthfully, we have seen that it is really hard for couples to find a group of like-minded people that are both wanting to go on this journey of self-improvement.
Yeah. So the Together community is for couples who are just looking at improving their relationship, who are wanting this, obviously this podcast episode is talking about, falling into the roommate category and, falling into this, we feel like roommates and we just don't know how to rekindle that spark, right? Mm-hmm. Whether your relationship's on the brink of actual destruction or there was a fly, or it's thriving. I really believe that the community is something that everybody can benefit from. And the reason that we created it was to just make it easy. And also to teach the things that we teach on in our coaching. It's something that I feel so passionate about and want to be able to get our messaging that literally changed our life and our relationship to everybody. And that's what the Together community is going to provide. So for $99 a month, literally, guys, less than a date night. Okay. You don't have to get a babysitter. You don't have to do anything. You can join the community, or you can join for the full year at $997. Okay. We are only running this promotion until February 15th. So do not sleep on it. After February 15th, it will go up in price to $250 a month and $2,500 for the year, because of everything that is included in the community. So in the community, you've got 2 live coaching calls a month with us.
Which is the coolest thing for your relationship, because you get to separate time every other week to actually focus on you guys.
Yep. And that is alone a $1,200 monthly value that we charge outside clients that much to meet monthly with us to do that. The second thing is you're going to get a newsletter at least once a month, if not twice a month, that is going to include things like relationship challenges, conversation starter questions like our conversation cards, and easy ways to connect, as well as date night ideas that you guys can do, which will have things that are both at home date nights and going out and experiencing something together. So that's something that we're very passionate about, is making sure that you guys are connecting on an emotional level. So all of these things will teach you how to identify your emotions and also connect emotionally with one another, providing you with just that much more connection.
Yeah. And you also get access to 3 courses that we have created, and literally we've gone through them with fine tooth and comb and put every ounce of blood, sweat, and tears of our relationship into these courses that you will have access to. Plus any resources we've ever created, any freebie, any ebook that we've ever created, you guys get access to. And the coolest part, in my opinion, is that you get access to a community page. And that means that you can get on, have access to us via a chat, this group chat that we're putting together. And then also these other people are going to be able to post, everybody that's in the community will be able to post wins, losses, the things that they're doing in their relationship, just so you know that you're not alone, but also just to go, a place to go to learn and grow.
Yeah. So I know that this is sometimes a hard commitment for people, because they're well, do I really need these kind of resources? Do I really need this help? If you listen to this podcast, the answer is yes. You already are here because you're looking for something more in your relationship or in your life. And this is just one extra step where you're going to get so many incredible juicy nuggets and really honestly a community to thrive and help you through all of the things that you're wanting, right? It's so hard to do the work in the shadows. It's so hard to progress and to learn and grow when you're trying to do it by yourself, right? But when you shine a light on it and you bring it to the forefront of, your mind, and you have people to hold you accountable and to cheer you on and to help you through these things, your progression is so much faster and so much better, in my opinion. And especially with having your partner do it right alongside you. And even if they're not ready, to be the example in your relationship, to say, no, like, I'm taking charge of our relationship. I'm sick of how it is. I need some help. These are the easiest things to implement in your relationship in order to progress and grow and like truly finally get you the life in the relationship that you're actually wanting.
Yeah. So for $99 or $9.97 a year, which saves you a couple $100, we want you to come and be a part of this community. So consider that. Please join. If you don't, we don't know what you're doing. We would love to see you in there, and we would love to be friends with you in there.
Yeah. Let us be your biggest cheerleaders. Let us cheer you on. Come join. Come be friends. Like, let's do this together, truthfully.
Right.
So let's dive
jump into it.
To this topic of roommates.
Yeah, we hear this all the time, and I always think it's super cliche.
Yeah, you're
because
not really a fan.
Any relationship person that you see on Instagram or any social media site or have talked to, they're like, okay, cool, you get in this roommate phase. But it's actually real.
It really is, because
yeah,
so often we hear all the time, like, well, like, life just gets the best of us, right? Like, if you go back to when you were dating and you go back to like this story of before you met, right? When you're dating, you're actively pursuing somebody. And like, there's not really maybe like a lot of worries in your mind, because I don't know, that's maybe not true. Like, you've got worries and you've got things that you're consumed with, but dating, for some reason, in my mind, you have to actively work towards, like, you're trying to like earn this person's love. You're trying to earn this person's trust and love, in my opinion, right?
Well, the thing is that I mean, again, if anybody's listens to us, it's we treat our relationship as if we are dating, because at any moment you have the doors open and you can go if you want to.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what dating is. And so you wonder why people, when they date, they actually pursue so much.
Yeah.
And it's because that person has no commitment to the other one. Right. But then in marriage, this word that we call marriage, it's like, okay, cool, we get married. Now we're obligated. Mm-hmm. And with this obligation comes so much responsibility, right? To actually, the responsibility is out the window, right? If I'm correcting myself, because you don't owe that person anything anymore. There's already this tie. And subconsciously, what we're doing is we're already separating ourselves, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have this bond, but now we don't have to pursue anymore. And so, yeah, I mean, go to our scenario. We have 4 kids right now.
Yeah.
And we work together. And we go home after work and we focus on our kids. And there's a lot of days that even though we're working together, it's not like we have the connection of like dating.
Yeah.
Right?
And most of the time when we put the kids to bed, it's been a long day. Like, our kids are young, mm-hmm. And they require a lot of us right now.
But even before bed, it's like we're cooking, we're cleaning.
Yep. We're making sure homework is done. We're running to activities.
Yep.
And then even after they go to bed, a lot of the times we're either working again mm-hmm. to try to get things done that we didn't get done throughout the day.
Yep.
Or we're exhausted to the point where it's just like, oh, we probably should try to connect somehow. Like, how does that look, right? And being conscious of it. I mean, like, I just want to
paint a picture of like what actually like the roommate phase looks like.
Yeah.
Because it gets so real so quickly in a relationship, right? And this is where it's like we have to actively pursue our relationship, even though we work together, right? And somebody that's listening to this, like, you might have a husband that has a 9-to-5 job. You might yourself work, right? Or even whatever the dynamic is.
Well, even if somebody has a 9-to-5 job, like, and you are the parent that is, taking care of the house and the kids, and that's your job, that's still an exhausting job.
Right. But what I'm saying is that you guys aren't together.
Yeah. Right? No, okay. I didn't understand.
And so when you do have the little time together, what are you doing to take advantage of that, to prioritize your relationship? Because, and this is a cool thing to think about, but like, I would go insane if I didn't have alone time with you.
Oh, I agree.
Right.
Yeah.
And the roommate phase gets really, really easy because you don't have to worry about the other person, because there is this obligation that they're just going to be there regardless. Mm-hmm. And we have other responsibilities as far as like the kids and cleaning in the house and jobs and all of this stuff, right? But what if the only thing that was important was your relationship? How would you treat it? Right? Because all of those other things, even the kids, if I'm being blunt, they're going to go away.
Yeah. Well, and also thinking, so often we take our partners for granted, and the emotional support that they offer just in their presence alone, right?
Yeah.
And the companionship there. I can't tell you how many relationships that I've seen, and that even in our relationship that we've experienced, where like that is really taken for granted.
Yeah.
Is the fact that like I just know you'll be there, or like at the end of the day, it's been a long day and you're laying in bed and you're like, well, this is good enough because like they're there, but are they really there? Right?
Right.
And so looking at it, and I love that you're like, okay, no, like you should be pursuing your partner, right? And that's where you get into the roommate phase. You start to prioritize other things other than your relationship. Other things become way more of, you know, an obligation than your relationship. And I think a lot of times we talk about the roommate phase and people's heads automatically go to, because they know mine did, like, oh my gosh, it has to be this astronomical thing, or we need to do date night once a week, or we need to, you know, make sure we're spending an hour alone together at night. Like, yeah, those things might be great for you. And that might be the stage of life that you're in. And like, that's what you need, right?
Yeah.
I can't give you all the answers of what your relationship needs, because only you know that. Only you know your relationship, right? But what I do know is that even the smallest actions start to add up. And even like the smallest inklings of like, I should do this, or I want to do this, or these thoughts, when you act on them and when you propel yourself forward in that, and you don't let yourself talk yourself out of it.
Yeah.
Right? You don't let fear be in the driver's seat. You instantly are like, wait, hold on. I'm pursuing my partner. I'm going to act on this. I'm not going to let the fear that maybe I'm going to get rejected, or they're going to take this the wrong way, or they're not going to like this, stop me from doing the actual thing.
Yeah.
Which has been an MO for me for so long, where I'm like, ugh, I should do this. And then I actually don't do it. And then I'm then left feeling very disconnected from you. But in reality, like, did I even do anything to begin with? No.
That makes sense. All right. So let's assume that everybody that's listening right now is in the roommate phase, right? And let's talk about ways to maybe address it and get out of it, right?
Yeah.
Or like little things, just like you said, that in your day-to-day that you could do to start to break this cycle that is so easily to go into. And if you're in this, like, we want to give you tons of grace, because everybody goes there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There are a couple things. The biggest way, and I'll just make it blunt and obvious, but the biggest way that you and I are able to jump out of the roommate phase, even if we aren't being physically intimate, right, is we are able to talk to each other on an emotional level like any couple that I've ever seen. I am able to express some of the deepest, darkest things to you, or some of the most enlightening things to you, without any of your judgment, right? And with all of your acceptance. And so I think that the ways that we connect the most to get out of the roommate phase, in my opinion, is that we were able to communicate, right? Like, we have some of the coolest conversations, even in between kids screaming at us.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, I have another one. Do you got one?
Well, I was going to say on that one, that's hard for a lot of people, because a lot of people don't feel like, they can't see that. They've never experienced that in their relationship. And
yeah,
so they're
it's hard
like,
for a lot of people,
oh,
but I'm
this is
going to give them like the idea that that's possible.
Oh, 100%. It's totally possible.
And I think that it's probably for, especially for the woman, the most beneficial. Am I not right?
No, you totally.
Okay.
I told Matt the other day.
And for the man, when he learns how to actually express, your relationship's going to look really cool.
Well, I literally told you the other day, we had sex and we were laying there, and it was like incredible, right? Like, I'm just going to like kudos you, high five. Sex lately has been absolutely amazing. Okay.
I'll receive that. I appreciate that.
But I said to you, we were like laying there after, and we were talking, and I said something to you like, hey, I think the key to having better sex is the fact that we now are on this emotional level with one another, that I feel so much more comfortable and confident around you that I have never had in our relationship ever before.
Yeah.
And that was really cool for me to realize, like, wait, hold on. You've provided this space for me to have these emotional conversations, or to even understand my own emotions and be able to communicate those. And like, I'm not joking you. Like I said to you, I'm like, I never in my wildest dreams thought sex could be this amazing. Not that sex sucked before, because it never did. It's just like, I truly was like, wow, if I could gift this to everybody, I would, because it nothing was done differently physically. It was like, hold on. It was this mindset shift of, hold on, I'm in a different mental space because of the emotional connection that we have.
Yeah. And not even hearing you talk. I think that it is valid to say that partners might, like, if the one, like, if you as a girl, if you want to like have pillow talk and you want to like have this deep conversation with your spouse, but your spouse isn't really willing to, a really easy way to break that is just to say like, hey, I'm here for you to open up if you want to.
Yeah.
Right. Because you want to be able to provide this space to get out of this roommate phase that says, hey, at the end of the day, after all the bullshit's gone, like, I want to be the space that you can come to if you need.
Yeah.
Right. Another thing that has been the most beneficial, in my opinion, to our relationship to get out of the roommate phase is leaving each other notes.
I was hoping you would say that. Yes. Yeah. That alone. And that's what I say. Sometimes it's the smallest things.
Right.
But notes,
it's not small, truthfully.
No, they actually are very thoughtful, but they don't take, I mean, like, I'm saying small in the sense that like they're not some grand gesture of they don't take a ton of time to do, right? Like, it's not small by any means, because like the act alone is like, wait, hold on. Like, we have a bulletin board in our, or not a bulletin board, but a little whiteboard that we bought at like Walmart in our bathroom that we keep up to, like, we had initially bought it to keep track of like schedules and things like that. So we knew what was going on.
Yeah.
I mean, like to-do lists and stuff. And I don't know when it was, but a couple of months ago, I noticed that you had written me a note. And I was like, wait, these are amazing. And then little by little, like, sometimes I don't write them back. Like, sometimes I'm just like, hey, thanks for the note, right? But sometimes I do write them back. Or sometimes like I leave you a note, or, you know, whatever that looks like. And those notes mean so much. And I feel like they've truly helped our relationship a ton. Like, there was a time period where like you didn't miss a day writing me a note. And they were they weren't just like stupid notes. Like, I know that sounds so mean to say. They weren't like, hey babe, like, you're so sexy, love you, like, whatever. Like, they were so thoughtfully.
I still do them.
You do.
Every single day, yeah.
No, I'm just saying they are so thoughtfully crafted and worded that like they're things that you've actually never said to me. And I'm like, wait, hold on. I'm now seeing this from a different light. Like, I'm now seeing the things that I do provide to our relationship, or how you see me, which then gives me the opportunity to like, hold on, like, yeah, I do think this about myself, or like, oh no, I do love this about you. So I'm going to tell you, I want to also express this to you. Right. So the notes have been a huge thing. I have absolutely loved that. But you stole mine. The other thing I think for getting out of the roommate phase is to, like, I said it earlier, but like just to do it, like just to do the things that are coming up in your head, truthfully. So like how this looks for me is, if I'm not feeling connected to you, or I'm not feeling pursued by you, what am I not doing? Right? How am I not showing up? So like a lot of times, like, I'd be like, oh my gosh, it's been a while since we had sex, or like, oh, Matt's like, I feel really distant from Matt. Well, why? I realized for me that I was feeling distant from you because I wasn't like physical with you. And I actually really love the physical connection part of our relationship. Yeah. And so it would be like, hold on, I haven't put myself in a position where I can like give that to him, or allowed myself to even give that to him. Right. So it's like, hold on, instead of, you know, oh, I'm tired, and instead of going to bed, it's like, no, what am I actually wanting? Well, I'm wanting connection with you. So I'm going to go over and cuddle with you. Right. That may lead to sex. It may not lead to sex. Right. Or it's, oh, you know, I'm feeling disconnected from you. I'm going to hold your hand in the car, or I'm going to send you a text message letting you know how much you mean to me, or I'm going to call you on the phone and talk to you and just be like, hey, I just missed you and I wanted to hear your voice. Right. Yeah. Like, whatever that is, that for me has been huge, to realize that like I no longer can rely on you to provide something for me. I need to just go ahead and do it. If we were dating, I would be so much more aware of those kind of things. And I would pursue the shit out of you. Yeah. I'd be like, I planned us a date. Do you want to go? Hey, I think we should go do this. This would be so fun. Oh my gosh, the kids fell asleep. Hypothetically, like, we don't have kids when we're dating, but like the kids fell asleep. Like, let's go look at the stars outside. I don't know. I know I did that one time, and that was so fun. Do you know what I mean? But like getting back into the creative mindset of, if we got divorced and I had to go date again, how would I pursue somebody else? Because that's how I want to show up for you.
But we do get in this marriage, right? And we get in the roommate phase, and we are so worried about either offending or being rejected by the other partner.
Oh yeah.
Right. And so I think what your point is that like, to just go do, yes, we have to give what we want more of, right? But if you have an inkling to say like, go grab your wife's ass or go hug your husband or give him a kiss on the cheek, do it.
Yeah.
Or write him a note, right? Or so those are the things where it's just like, if there is something that you are wanting to do with your spouse, don't wait for them to come to you. Just be proactive and actually do, right?
Well,
I have another one.
no, yeah.
The next one is in the mundane things throughout your day, find ways to connect in them. I hate cleaning the house. Absolutely hate cleaning the house. But I know that it is one of Lauren's favorite things to do. And so throughout, I mean, there are times when I'm frustrated and I'm like angry cleaning with you, right? But throughout the times that we clean, I will make it a point for myself, whether or not you notice this or not, to come and love on you, right? While you're cleaning. And I'm like, I don't care if she's scrubbing as hard, just trying to get rid of from frustration or whatever, but I'm coming from behind and I'm going to hug you, right? So in the mundane, and I know that you do this thing with me as well, right? And so I think in the crappiest of moments throughout your day, you can find ways to connect, even if it doesn't have to be a big deal.
Yeah. I love that. I was going to say something and I can't remember what it was.
Sorry.
Oh, no, I remember. Sometimes when I say that, I feel like it like sparks this bubble where it's like, hey, you remember. It was when you were talking about the last thing as far as people getting offended and also like pursuing. Mm-hmm. It also comes down to like freaking talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, I think one of the coolest conversations we ever had was during a coaching session with our coach. And I feel like the question was answered, well, like, how would you like to be greeted when you come home? Because at the time we didn't work together.
Yeah.
And we came home at like different times, and sometimes I would get home before you. And so I was home when you came home, right? And I think we were talking just kind of honestly about being in this roommate phase and being like, well, the kids are a lot and life is a lot and we don't have time. And it was just excuse after excuse after excuse, right? And she asked the question of like, well, how would you like to be, like to you, how would you like to be greeted? Like if you were to create this, what would it look like, right? Yeah. And you were like, I would love if I came home and the first thing that I got was a hug. Regardless of whatever was going on, just like a hug and like an actual like hug. Like, cause you're a hugger, right? Mm-hmm. Like you hug everybody and you're like, I want like a hug and maybe a kiss and just like a, hey, I'm so happy to see you. And that gave me the opportunity, not to say that I had to take that on, but to say, oh my gosh, wait, I didn't realize that this was actually important to him. And like, I didn't realize that like he needed that after a long day. Like I was so focused on me and my world that I didn't even bother to like even ask like, well, what do you want? And then the question was asked to me, right? And mine was very similar. Which is like, I just want the same thing that you do, right? And a lot of times I think that's the case. Why are you getting emotional?
No, I get emotional over everything. Just, I love that, I don't know. I think that took me back to like that moment and how much I needed all of that. But, I think the roommate phase is cool because it teaches you what you don't want. And I mean, we could talk about ways to stay out of it, right? Like, but at the same time, I think it's kind of inevitable.
For sure.
Life gets hard, life gets busy, and I think it's inevitable. And I think that that's why we had to go through all the things that we went through so we could create the things that we were wanting to create to then bring it to other people so they didn't have to go through the same things.
Yeah. And that's a big reason why we created the community was so that you don't have to come up with the ideas. You don't have to think of the ways that you can connect. That's literally given to you in your lap to say, hey, do these 3 things. And if you're like me and you're a checklist person, you're like, oh my gosh, hallelujah. This makes it so much easier for me to ask Matt these 5 questions that were just sent to me that I'm like, should ask throughout the week to help create connection that make it just easier, right? It's why we created the conversation cards, because for us, just talking and getting like deeper conversation was really hard at the beginning. It really truly was. Yeah. Because we thought we knew everything there was to know about each other because we had been together for so freaking long, right? But the coolest thing is as people, we constantly are evolving or constantly changing. And sometimes we change and we evolve and we still stay stuck in our like physical, what's happening in our physical world, right? Mm-hmm. But there really is no need to stay stuck. Like you're choosing that.
Yeah.
You're choosing to stay stuck in your relationship. You're choosing to stay stuck in life. You're choosing to stay in an unhappy state if that's where you're at, because you get to create your world. You get to create what happens, and it's your choice. So what are you going to do with it? Quit complaining. Get to work. You got this. There's like amazing tools out there. And the second you have those tools and the second you have those little nuggets and you're like, yes, I can do it. There's no reason anymore to feel like you can't do something, because they're literally at your fingertips, ready to go.
So get out of the roommate phase, join our community. It's literally only $99 a month, or you can pay $9.97. And it will change your relationship. And even better than that, it's going to help you on an individual basis.
Yes.
So thank you guys for listening. Please tune in next week and look out for all of our links below.